Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host. Let's get into this. That was way more funny just now than it ever been before. I don't know why, but hey y'all, hi. If this is your first time tuning in, hello, hi, welcome, thank you. Get on in here. Please follow us on YouTube at Inappropriate Radio TV. All right, no periodic table or alien talk tonight. However, the creator came through with a message. All right, don't quote me. This download actually came last Friday. I had to literally just check my notes just now to make sure, because I didn't want to lie. And I just like to make sure that when we cover these segments, it's important to tell people, no, some of these topics are just sitting waiting until the creator gives the green light to discuss it. I'm not just sitting here just twiddling my fingers and things are falling out the sky. A lot of these topics I sit on for a little minute, all right? With that being said, this is from last week, right? So there's a difference between the creator revealing things to you in your dreams versus you being attacked while in your dream state. And there's different ways for you to be attacked while you're in your dream state, right? Your physical vessel can be threatened, meaning a person will be operating under a particular spirit and they wait until you are literally physically asleep to attack you, right? Then you have people who wait until they think you may be sleeping, or if they know your schedule, spiritual belch, until they know you are sleeping, and they will start either one, casting spells while you're asleep, two, sending spirits to you, three, coming themselves in the form of a familiar face, right? Or four, they start to try to go about extracting energy from your auric field while they know or think you are sleeping, because as we know, when we are asleep, that's when we're the most vulnerable, right? I think first, before we even move forward, it would be very, very cool for me to say this as the creator is telling me. Switching up your sleep pattern and schedule is not always that bad when you are under heavy warfare. It's not a bad idea for people to know when you are asleep. It's kind of problematic when those are the people attacking you, right? Some of your attackers have monitoring devices in your home, in your car, at your job. They're using your coworkers to spy on you. They're sending spirits, monitoring spirits. They even send flies, girl. They're coming in the form of children now. All right. So they have the means to know your schedule, even when they're not physically around you, right? So it's not bad because they set up arrangements to attack you. Meaning they come up with a schedule based off of your schedule. So if you are constantly, and we talked about this, right? Sometimes breaking the mold and switching up your everyday, everything that you do, This has to, of course, be approved by the creator, right? We talked about that, switching up the schedules and not switching up schedules, and how it can cause an influx in energy, yada yada yada, right? This now will allot you more time, because these people that are sending out these attacks, whether they are sending a spirit, they're doing a ritual, or they're just trying to set your house on fire or whatever, right? These people have a really good idea. If they're stalking you spiritually, there's a good way to stalk you physically, just to sum things up, so they know when to strike. Okay? You really need to understand that the creator has ways that he communicates, and this is how you receive protection and blessings: when you are actively using your gifts, when you're practicing using them so you can strengthen them, so you can learn to understand them, so you could develop more gifts if that's what the creator wants for you, just by you using the gifts that you already have the correct way, right? So if God is already signaling you in one way or another, the only way that would change is if you have graduated, if you have ascended or descended, or if there is an attack where he has no choice but to go about communicating with you another way because you are being monitored, right? I myself have my own situation with this, so this is one of those topics that I can attest. This is some real shit. All right. You have to be aware and knowledgeable on how the creator communicates. Because remember, messages coming from the spiritual realm can all look the same. It doesn't matter if they're from the creator or not. The only thing that makes the difference is you expounding on your relationship with the creator, so much so to know if it was him. And after time is passing by, you will literally start being able to just know if that was God or someone trying to attack you. These witches and warlocks, they start getting really creative. They know how to use your strengths as well as your weaknesses against you. So it's your job to make sure you are fully aware of the strategies, right, that they're going to more than likely use against you. And after a while, you'll know, like I said, you'll start looking at the dreams what the hell are you doing in my dream? And there are different things that, people say you should do or not do in a dream. You're not supposed to eat in a dream. You're not supposed to tell people in your dream that you are aware that you are in a dream. It's just tons of different things. And it really depends on who you ask, because some people have different meanings for the same thing, right? And I know you can Google this stuff, right? You could look up the dream and literally just say, what does such mean in a dream? And it'll give you all the answers. And all of those things that are popping up, they don't even have to apply to you, right? This could literally just be something that people uploaded. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be what it is that you're looking at. Yeah, some sites are credible. I would suggest that you try not to go with the commercial side of things. Of course, becoming more well versed with your scripture, whatever religious text you follow, contrary to popular belief, Islam focuses on magic. Magic is mentioned quite a few times in the Quran. A lot of Islamic cultures, traditions and customs are geared towards protection against the evil eye. So there's this really strong element of spirituality in the Islamic culture as well. A lot of people only think about Christianity as far as, just like some of the main religions as the one religion that speaks against spiritual warfare. The Quran doesn't call it spiritual warfare, but it's heavily discussed in Islam, okay? So yeah, the gist of this conversation is to start learning, and we've talked about dreams before here, right? It's not the first time. And excuse my voice, I'm really tired, guys. I've had a rough day today. But so in reality, a lot of us are not fully aware. We're not fully in our power to be able to interpret. And remember, we talked about, the different types of dreams, right? We talked about that before. This is not that. This is a different topic. But knowing how to interpret correctly is a spiritual gift. Not everyone has that. And I'm not talking about some textbook, definitions. I'm talking about really for real having access to the ethers, having access to the Creator, being filled with divine knowledge, okay? Having access to the Akashic, being able to understand things on this earthly realm as they are in the ethers. And even though this is a different topic, when things come down from the ethers, we know that they have to happen in the ethers first, but it doesn't always translate the same, right? You may get a capital A in the ethers, but when it's time for you to receive the actual blessing, maybe you'll get a lowercase a, capital B, and a capital C, right? It always looks different when it hits this realm, because why? We have to pay karma. Remember, we talked about that. We don't always get our full on blessings because we lose a lot of our energy that is connected to all of those blessings. And then we have to pay back the debt in order to have those things come back to us. Totally different topic. We went over that. But, the gist of this conversation is to really take serious your understanding of your interpretation. Not everyone understands your warfare, and not everyone is supposed to know what you're dreaming. Even in Islam, there is a lot of talk around dreams. And I know there's one surah that talks about how you're not supposed to talk about your bad dreams. There's a hadith, actually, not a surah, but y'all know what I'm saying. It discourages the dreamer from divulging energy in reference to dreams, especially, mainly when they're bad dreams, right? And you can draw your own conclusion from that, whatever the reason for that you may think. 9 times out of 10, everybody who might think something's going to be right about that. Because, again, the Creator gives us the insight and the tools to make sure we are getting through those hurdles. So, yeah, being consistent and loving yourself enough to know who you are will suffice. All right? But I'm going to end it here. I don't know who that was for. It had nothing to do with the message. Hope you guys are drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea because it's free. All right, love y'all. Peace.